What are we doing here, Isabel?
Daddy's the kayak.
Yeah, we are.
Hi, YouTube.
Yeah, Malone kayak carts does wonders. Like Queen Cleopatra here. Well, there it is, the Coosa FD, the one I've been waiting for. All thanks to this man right here. Right on. Woo! That was a few weeks ago, and now that I've had the Coosa FD for a while, and I've had a number of opportunities to get it out, really get it on the water, do some testing, play with it, fish from it, catch some nice fish in it, I feel like I have enough experience with that boat to actually talk about it. But before we get into the review, my name's Jeff. Welcome to Limestone Fishing. If this review helps you, drop me a comment in below, like the video, and consider subscribing to my channel. But yeah, now let's get into the review. So this is the 2022 Jackson Coosa FD. Now, I'm not going to talk about how it's different from any of the previous year models of the Coosa or the Coosa FD because I never paddled or pedaled any of those. I'm just going to talk about this boat and what it has. So right up at the bow, the first thing you see is the drain plug. That's simple enough. Next, you've got this nice handle here, this ergonomic handle. It's not a molded in or hard plastic handle. It's a strap with this nice rubber cover, but it still is really sturdy, and it's going to be able to allow you to pull this kayak around on your cart or move it around pretty easy. So moving down, you've got this nice hatch with this latch system that is snag free, and that's really important. In addition, you've got a paddle strap here, so that if you're in a position with the Coosa that you need to use your paddle, it's easy to stow. You don't have to try and strap it up to the side. You can just slip it right into the paddle strap, similar to what the U-Pick has and some of the other platforms, and it's out of the way and you don't have to worry about it. Opening up the hatch, you've got this nice rubber seal around the hatch, and that's to help keep water from going inside the hatch. But it's drained, like it's designed here to let water drain out. So any water that comes in over the hull, or if it's raining or anything like that, all that water is going to drain out through the sides, and not much of it, if any, is going to actually make it into your hatch. One of the other things I wish I had in my Liska is this little front hatch tray. I'm sure I could have bought it, but the Coosa FD comes with it, and that's a really nice quality of life thing that they've done so that you don't have to worry about trying to purchase something extra. It just comes with this tray, and this is great for storing tackle or other things that you don't need immediate access to, but you can get quickly if you need them. Once you have that out, you've got this nice big in-hull storage system, and there's a lot of space in here. And it just closes up nice and easy using these snagless latches, and that's really secure. It pushes down on this rubber seal, so it creates an even better seal to keep water out of the hull if you're in a situation where you're getting a lot of water coming up over top of the boat. On either side of the hatch, you've got this molded in integrated rod tip holders, and those are pretty cool. I use them a little bit so far, and they're pretty easy to use, really nice to have. Moving down, you've got this bad boy here. That's the Flex Drive Mk4. We'll talk about that after. But before we get into any of that stuff, we're going to talk about what's here. We've got these nice integrated anodized tracks for you to load all your kayak accessories, as well as all the tracks all down the sides, gunnels, and on the back of the boat. It's really, I don't use these tracks, but I could see how these would be useful for people who have a lot of kayak accessories. I don't have that many, so I don't use them, but they're there if I do get to the point where I have a lot more accessories, which I will. So coming back, you notice we've got a nice big hatch here, the big scupper hatch, and that allows you access to the prop, which is really neat, so that when you're paddling around in shallow water, or if you get some weeds or fishing line or something stuck up in there, you can pop open this hatch, clean it off your prop, close the hatch, latch her down so that you don't accidentally open it and drop something down there, and then carry on your way. Next up, you've got these are nice hard plastic handles. Really good and easy for helping to move the kayak around when you're off the water. This is a pretty heavy boat though, so I wouldn't recommend carrying the boat on its side with one of these handles. You probably would risk damaging the plastic. But if you got two people that can help you carry the boat, you got one person on each side, these will be more than enough to share that weight. But just one of them, I wouldn't carry this kayak with just one handle. Moving back here to the seating system, you've got Jackson's new integrated high-low sliding seat. And this seat is so easy to move around, just like that. That's all it takes. There's no pins, there's no clips or anything like that. You just slide it up, and that's how you change it from the high to the low. In addition to that, you've got these thumb screws here. You can just loosen those up. And you can slide the whole seating system back and forth to adjust for different heights of paddlers and different lengths of legs and stuff like that. You'll also notice on the deck, you've got this padding that comes pre-installed on the Coosa, and that's a really nice feature for on those really hot days and we're not wearing any footwear, you're just barefoot. You're not standing on this ultra hot plastic, but it also helps to dampen the sound of things that are getting dropped or you moving around or just shuffling stuff around on the deck of your boat. It really dampens the sound of that. Coming up here on the either side of the seat, you've got two ambidextrous rudder control systems. And that's a really nice feature so that if you're doing something with one hand, with your right hand, you can steer with your left. If you're doing something with your left hand, you can steer with your right. I use both of them all the time, so it's a feature that I utilize every time I'm in this boat. Coming towards the back, you'll see, like I mentioned, there's just track systems everywhere. You've got them all along the gunnels, and you've got this nice anodized track system along the back for you to load any more kayak accessories, and in addition to the tank well on either side. So this tank well is a pretty decent size. You could easily fit a Yak Attack Black Pack or any other kind of crate or cooler that you want to have back here. There's plenty of tank well space. On either side of the tank well, you've got two integrated rod holders, and that's just a nice feature to have. Something I sorely missed on the U-Pick that I was paddling before this bad boy came in. Moving towards the rear, you'll see we've got another hatch here for some in-hole access, and the snagless latches. That opens right up. Again, there's a rubber seal here to keep water out, but it's also designed in such a way to drain the water out the back should some water come in over the back of the boat. This is also how you access the rear part of the rudder controls. So as you can see here, that's how this stuff basically works. And this is a nice big sturdy bar. This part here is made out of plastic, but the steering shafts themselves are made out of carbon fiber. And I really like that versus like a cable steering system, I think like the NAR has. I really like the carbon fiber steering shafts. There's very little play in them. It feels solid and it makes rudder control really easy. All right, let's talk about the big one. And that is the Flex Drive Mk4. So like the previous models of the Flex Drive is made up of 3 different parts. We've got the upper unit, the mid unit, and the lower unit, which houses the prop and the skeg and all that stuff. But we're gonna talk about the Mk4 upper unit, because this is where the money's at. I never got a chance to pedal anything with the Mk3 Flex Drive, but I did get a chance to pedal the Mk2, and while it was great and it worked well, it was very loud. It didn't feel as solid as it probably should have, but this one, this is rock solid. It is smooth, it's efficient, it's powerful, and it's ultra quiet. I was on the water 2 days ago with another member of the Kingston Canoe and Kayak Fishing Club, and he was in a big rig with a Mk3 in it, and we decided to do a little race. And while I didn't win the race because my seat slider slid back on me, I guess I didn't have my thumb bolts tightened down quite enough, so I lost a bit of power there, but I was able to keep up with him no problem, and I was easily putting in a fraction of the effort that John was. How much effort are you putting in right now?
More than you are.
And the other thing that I noticed while we were doing our little race is that all I could hear was his Mk3 pedal drive. This is what the Mk4 sounds like. I'm gonna take my microphone, I'm just gonna put it right next to here, and I'm gonna pedal it. I don't know if you can hear that, but if you can probably just barely hear it. And I can tell you the difference between the Mk3 and the Mk4 in terms of just that alone is wild. And it's so smooth to pedal, and I really enjoy pedaling this kayak. I don't know how they came up with this new design or what the interior looks like, but whatever Jackson's doing with their drives, they're doing a good job, because this thing is amazing. new GoPros are very prone to overheating. So when you're trying to film in the direct sunlight, sometimes you have to improvise. Thanks, Isabel, for letting me borrow your umbrella.